like Fridays around here, Jackie, because we always end up talking about food.
That's right. We're going to head over to the Wood Harbor Kitchen with Wini Moranville. She has a special guest from the Culinary Loft over at the Des Moines Social Club.
Welcome to Great Food. I'm thrilled to have with me Stephen Exel, who is the contributing food editor for Traditional Home magazine and who also teaches classes at the Meredith Culinary Loft at the Des Moines Social Club. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you, Winnie. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you. Now, you are going to show us something that you're going to be teaching in the upcoming one of your upcoming classes. And what did you bring in for us today?
Well, I brought some same-day pickles, and same-day pickles you can make in the same day. I'll tell you why I like them. There's no scary stuff involved like canning jars and
pressure cookers
and tongs and boiling points and all that kind of scary
stuff. Nobody's going to get botulism.
Nobody's going to get a botulism. It's an easy way to use veggies that are out of season, as most of them are right now, and give them a different little twist. They're an easy make-ahead to do. They're a simple addition to party food, for example, when the games are on. They're also a nice kind of food balance, you know, a taste balance to sort of like the silky, voluptuous, cheesy foods that we make in the winter in our crock pots or slow cookers and you know, when we're braising and all the
those big hearty flavors.
Yes. Well, the vinegar cuts the fat, adds that nice little tang to it. So it's a nice side dish to those little things.
That's excellent.
And then also it's a really nice addition to when you have them to chop them up into a slaw or a chopped salad or something.
Good.
So the recipe we're going to be demoing is a kind of an all-purpose recipe. It's for carrots or asparagus or for radishes or any kind of crunchy vegetable like cauliflower. You can use turnips, parsnips, whatever you like. I decided that we were going to do 3 at once.
And normally do you do 3 or do you usually just do 1 or 2? Or,
it depends on it depends on the mood.
And what's looking good at the market.
What's looking good at the market. So I've already cut up some radishes and some carrots, which we're going to put in a bowl. And but I thought it might be fun to show people an easy way to snap asparagus. You don't have to trim this. You just let the asparagus talk to you.
Great.
And it will snap where it wants to snap. And if you don't mind, snapping some asparagus.
I'll be your sous chef or your prep chef.
And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little spice bag to put in our vinegar pot. And we use a piece of cheesecloth. Cheesecloth is such an elegant thing to have in your kitchen because it's so useful for so many things. Making spice bags when you have a recipe that calls for put a sprig of rosemary in your pot, and then all of a sudden you're there with like rosemary sticks and stuff.
And it breaks up and goes all over and has,
if you just
not
put
so
it
pretty.
in a piece of cheesecloth, it'll stay together.
That's great.
When you're making stock, you can just throw all the stuff in a piece of cheesecloth, tie it up, and tie it to the handle. So in here, we're going to create our little spice bag for the vinegar. We're going to use a teaspoon of coriander seeds, a teaspoon of celery seed, a teaspoon of caraway seed.
Kind of classic pickle seasonings.
Classic pickle seasonings, a crushed red pepper. And then some black peppercorns, and this little treat is a star anise. It's very cool. It's from a pod of a small evergreen tree. It's used a lot in Chinese cooking, and you can substitute, if you don't want to go out and buy an star anise, you can substitute a quarter teaspoon of cloves. But the star anise is also good for cooking chickens and other things, other meats. It's great for poaching fresh fruit.
Right, and mulled cider,
mulled wine,
and all those nice hot drinks. Just stick a couple in there. Right.
So we're going to tie this up.
Good.
Into a little knot. There we go, Mr. Fingers.
Excellent.
Throw that in our pot. And into our pot, we're going to add a cup of water and a cup of cider vinegar. And 1/4 cup of sugar, and we're going to add, which we don't have, but that's okay, 2 tablespoons of, because we're faking this.
2 tablespoons
of kosher salt. And then we're going to bring this to a boil. And when it comes to a boil,
which we don't have time to show.
Which we don't have time to show, so that's why we're and we've dissolved the sugar. You want to take the spice bag when it's cool, remove the spice bag. When it's cool, bring it out. And then we're going to pour the pickling liquid right over there, and then they're just going to, we'll make sure that they're nice and submerged.
So you would make sure they were covered.
Make sure they were covered, and then you just let them sit.
And for how long?
For an hour and a half.
In the refrigerator or at room temperature?
You can let them sit at room temperature because that's how they should be served. If you want to keep them a little longer, put them in the fridge.
Okay, so about up to an hour at room temperature, or put them in the fridge.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Great.
And the magic of television, here they are.
All done. Wow, that was a quick hour. Oh, wow. So you know what you would do is you definitely put these out, just put them on a buffet tray, or serve them with your pot roasts and things like that to give a little brightness to a winter braise.
Exactly.
I have to taste one of these. Those are delicious. All right.
And you know, the nice thing is,
oh my gosh, those are so good for not having to spend a lot of time working on anything.
the integrity of the vegetable is maintained, whereas in a traditional pickle, you might end up with something that's a little limp, more vinegary than vegetable-y, but as you can see, you can still taste the integrity of the vegetable. It's really nice that way.
Quickly show us a couple of the other pickles that you have.
Well, we have 5-ingredient pickled red onion. Go ahead and taste one of those, Winnie.
I'm using my fingers, but that's okay. Oh, those are so good. These taste like something that a chef would put on as a finishing touch on something, and you'd think, oh my gosh, that's so chefy. And it's like, we can do that.
5 ingredients. Pickled mushrooms. That's one of my favorites. One of the things that's important in this is you use a different kind of vinegar. And the kind of vinegar is going to kind of tell you what the taste will be. White wine Chardonnay vinegar or distilled vinegar, rice wine vinegar. I have another one.
And we have to show these because they're so pretty. And you think that they're olives, but they are.
They're sort of the curveball that nobody thinks of. They're pickled grapes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Those are really lovely.
And you'll note that they have a really sweet, syrupy thing.
I taste the spices in that.
There's jalapeno and ginger in there. I would serve these with a roast chicken, and I would definitely take some of the syrup and throw it in the pot and
make a sauce.
Make a sauce with it.
That's awesome.
And you get that chicken au vinaigre kind of thing.
That's fantastic.
Really, really good stuff.
All right, well, let's talk about some of the classes that you have coming up, because you're busy and people want to know. So if you want to learn more about these pickles, take the same day's pickle class. That's coming up.
That's coming up on Monday, February 15th. And I'll also be showing how to make a really easy cured salmon with that class.
Good.
And then we've got an herb dessert class coming up. I want to show the savory side of a dinner finale. And that's desserts using herbs spices,
which is on trend.
And
That's
then
great.
Adult ice creams and other sweet seductions.
All right. I assume they have a little liquor in them or
and
something.
you can guess that they're going to be a little boozy. And then I will be teaching a class in salt and pepper, which is the great culinary pairing.
Right.
The basic, the mama and the papa, and people just think that they're there in the shaker on the table. So.
All right. Well, quickly, let's talk about some of the other classes that they have at the Des Moines Social Club, at the Culinary Loft. The Culinary for Kids, kids learn to cook. I love the idea that you can send your kids to learn to cook in the kitchen and mess up their kitchen and not your kitchen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's great. They got vegan cooking, nuts and milk, sushi 101, Southeast Asian cuisine. There's a butchering series going on, which I think is awesome.
Important to know.
Yeah, and one thing I thought was really interesting is the Gastronomes Book Club, where you read a food-focused book while enjoying a meal together, and that's coming up too. All of those things can be found, you can find out more about them on the Des Moines Social Club website. So check that out. Check out Stephen's classes. They're coming up. Lots of fun things to do in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for coming on and showing us these great pickles. I can't wait to eat some more.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thanks, Winnie.